November 27, 2020, 1:30 p.m., a rural highway 40 kilometers east of Tehran. A convoy of 3 vehicles travels toward the city of Absard. In the middle is a black armored Nissan Tina. Inside are Mohsen Fakhrizadeh and his wife. Fakhrizadeh is 59 years old. He's a brigadier general in Iran's Revolutionary Guard, but that's not his real job. He's the father of Iran's nuclear weapons program, the country's most important scientist, the man Israel has wanted dead for 2 decades. He travels with 11 bodyguards, escort vehicles front and rear, extreme security measures. He constantly changes routes, never announces his trips. But today, Mossad knows exactly where he'll be. 200 meters ahead, parked on the highway shoulder, sits a blue Nissan pickup truck. It looks abandoned, covered in dust. Nobody pays attention to it. But inside the bed of that truck is something extraordinary. A heavy machine gun mounted on a robotic platform, high-resolution cameras, thermal sensors, an aiming system assisted by artificial intelligence. And it's all being controlled via satellite from Tel Aviv, Israel, 1,000 miles away. There's no human sniper, no Mossad operatives in Iran, just a machine waiting. At 1:33 p.m., Fakhrizadeh's convoy approaches. The AI system identifies the target vehicle. Cameras track the movement. Algorithms calculate speed, distance, wind. The weapon positions itself automatically. At 1:34 p.m., the convoy passes the blue truck. The machine gun opens fire. 13 bullets fired in 3 seconds, all directed with lethal precision by artificial intelligence. The first bullets impact the armored windshield. They crack but don't penetrate. Fakhrizadeh orders the driver to stop. Fatal mistake. He exits the vehicle to assess the situation. He thinks it was a remote explosive attack or someone fired from far away. He doesn't see the sniper because there's no human sniper to see. As soon as he exits the vehicle, the AI system identifies him. Cameras zoom in. Algorithms recalculate. 3 more bullets direct to the torso. Perfect precision. Fakhrizadeh falls. His wife runs to him, unharmed. The bullets avoided her completely. The AI system was programmed not to harm her. The bodyguards fire in all directions. They can't find the attacker. They search for snipers in buildings. On hills, they find nothing. They run toward the blue truck. Too late. The robotic weapon self-destructs. Controlled explosion. The Nissan bursts into flames, all evidence destroyed. Fakhrizadeh is taken to the hospital. He dies 30 minutes later. Iran's most protected man was assassinated in broad daylight on a public highway, without a single Israeli operative on Iranian soil. This is the story of how Mossad used artificial intelligence to execute the most technologically advanced assassination in the history of intelligence operations, and why it changed covert warfare forever. To understand why Israel wanted Fakhrizadeh dead, you need to understand who he really was. Mohsen Fakhrizadeh Mahabadi was born in 1958 in Qum, Iran. He studied nuclear physics at Shahid Beheshti University in Tehran. Brilliant, dedicated, ambitious. In the 1980s, during the Iran-Iraq War, he joined the Revolutionary Guard. He combined his scientific genius with military loyalty. In 1989, Iran launched Project Ahmed, code name for its secret nuclear weapons program. Fakhrizadeh was appointed director. His job, develop a functional nuclear weapon for Iran. For 15 years, Fakhrizadeh oversaw everything: uranium enrichment research, warhead design, detonation systems, delivery vehicles. He worked at secret facilities, Parchin, Fordo, Natanz, installations buried under mountains, protected by air defenses, guarded by the Revolutionary Guard elite. In 2003, under international pressure, Iran officially shut down Project Ahmed, but Fakhrizadeh didn't stop. He just became more secretive. He continued research under different names, different organizations, same goal. By 2020, Fakhrizadeh had achieved extraordinary breakthroughs. He mastered uranium enrichment to weapons-grade level. He designed implosion detonation mechanisms. He developed miniaturization systems for missile mounting. He created networks of scientists throughout Iran. He wasn't just a scientist. He was the architect of Iran's entire nuclear program. Israeli intelligence considered him more dangerous than any Iranian general. Because generals move armies, Fakhrizadeh could give Iran the bomb. Israel had tried to stop him before. In 2007, Mossad agents tracked him to a scientific conference in Damascus. They planned a car bomb assassination. It was cancelled at the last minute due to collateral risks. In 2010, a team was deployed to Tehran. They watched his house, his routes, his patterns, but Fakhrizadeh detected the surveillance, changed everything, disappeared for months. In 2018, Mossad stole Iran's entire secret nuclear archive from a warehouse in Tehran, half a ton of documents, all of Project Ahmed's files. Fakhrizadeh's name was everywhere. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu revealed the documents at a press conference in April 2018. He mentioned Fakhrizadeh by name. "Remember that name," he said. Mohsen Fakhrizadeh. It was a public death sentence. For 2 more years, Mossad planned, tracked, waited for the perfect opportunity. And then they developed something that had never been used before: a completely autonomous assassination system controlled by AI. The weapon that killed Fakhrizadeh was unique in intelligence history. According to leaked Iranian and American intelligence reports, here's how it worked. The complete system weighed approximately 1 ton. It was built inside a hidden compartment in a Nissan pickup bed. From the outside, it looked like a normal work truck. Inside was an FN MAG heavy machine gun, 7.62mm, mounted on a precision robotic platform. Servo motors allowed 360-degree rotation and variable elevation, movement controlled with submillimeter precision. 4 high-resolution cameras with 50x optical zoom, 2 thermal cameras for heat detection, laser distance sensors, an anemometer to measure wind speed, a central computer running artificial intelligence software for facial recognition of targets, real-time movement tracking, automated ballistic calculations, target discrimination to avoid collaterals, and aim adjustments in milliseconds. Encrypted satellite communication system connected to a control station in Israel. Latency of less than 1.5 seconds. All powered by high-capacity batteries. Autonomy of 48 hours. The system was designed to operate in 3 modes. Mode 1, complete remote control. Human operators in Israel control every aspect. They see what the cameras see, they approve every shot. Mode 2, AI assistance. The system identifies targets and calculates aim. Human operators approve firing. Mode 3, fully autonomous. The system identifies, aims, and fires based on pre-programmed parameters. No human intervention. For Fakhrizadeh, they used Mode 2, AI doing the heavy lifting, humans making the final decision to shoot. Here's how it worked in practice. Weeks before the assassination, Mossad agents in Iran assembled the system. They installed it in the stolen Nissan pickup. They parked the truck on the route Fakhrizadeh frequently used. The system entered standby mode, waiting silently, monitoring. Mossad had hacked the mobile phones of Fakhrizadeh's bodyguards. They knew when he was traveling, where he was going. On November 27, they confirmed Fakhrizadeh would take the Absard route. In Tel Aviv, in a secure bunker beneath Mossad headquarters, operators logged into the weapons system. They verified the cameras, all systems functional. At 1:33 p.m., the cameras detected the approaching convoy. AI software identified the black Nissan Tina. License plate recognition confirmed target vehicle. The system tracked the approaching car. It calculated speed 65 kilometers per hour, distance 180 meters, 150-120. At 100 meters, the human operator in Tel Aviv received AI confirmation. Target identified. Fire solution ready. He approved engagements. The weapon positioned itself. The AI calculated the aiming point taking into account target vehicle speed, approach angle, wind speed 12 kilometers per hour from the northeast, temperature 14 degrees Celsius, and armored glass in the windshield. First burst 6 bullets, aimed at the driver's windshield, meant to crack the glass, stop the vehicle. It worked, the convoy stopped. When Fakhrizadeh exited the car, the AI system tracked him instantly. Facial recognition confirmed with 99.8% certainty. Second burst 3 bullets, aimed at center mass. All hit, Fakhrizadeh fell. His wife ran to him. The AI system identified her as non-target. Automatic fire hold, 0 collateral damage. The bodyguards ran toward the truck, approximately 50 meters away. Self-destruct command activated from Tel Aviv. Explosive charge detonated. Weapons system completely destroyed. No recoverable evidence. Entire engagement 42 seconds. Total shots fired 13 bullets. Mossad operatives physically present in Iran during the assassination 0. The weapons system didn't magically appear on that Iranian highway. Getting it, there was an extraordinary operation in itself. According to intelligence reports, here's how Mossad did it. First, the weapon was built in Israel. Mossad engineers working with Israeli defense contractors, probably Israel Aerospace Industries or Rafael Advanced Defense Systems. They spent months designing, building, and testing secret facilities in the Negev desert, tests under conditions simulating Iran. The challenge, make a weapon that could be sent to Iran in pieces, assembled in the field, operated remotely, and destroyed without leaving recoverable evidence. They solved every problem. Modular designed the system, broke down into 20 separate components, each small enough for individual smuggling. Components designed to look like normal industrial equipment, servo motors labeled as CNC machinery equipment, computers disguised as industrial automation systems. Smuggling route through Azerbaijan. Mossad has a well-established network there. Azerbaijan shares a 700-kilometer border with Iran, porous, difficult to completely control. During summer 2020, the components were shipped to Baku, Azerbaijan, labeled as industrial equipment for export. Mossad agents recruited local smugglers, men with experience moving goods across the Iranian border, paid generously, without knowing what they were really transporting. The components were moved in small batches, through remote border crossings, in trucks, in hidden packages, over weeks. Everything was delivered to a safe house in Tehran, a property rented by Mossad operatives months before. There, a team of Israeli technicians who had been infiltrated into Iran assembled the system. It took 3 days. days, constant testing, verification of each component. Satellite communication established, connection with Tel Aviv confirmed, live video working, controls responding. Then they stole a blue Nissan pickup, common in Iran, no distinctive features. They installed the weapons system in the truck bed, camouflage place to hide it. The next challenge, finding where to position the weapon. Mossad had been tracking Fakhrizadeh for months. Human agents, electronic surveillance, hacked phones. They knew he lived in a secure compound in Tehran. He worked at ultra-protected military facilities, impossible to attack directly. But he traveled to his country house in Absard, to research facilities, to meetings. They analyzed all his routes, identified vulnerable points, rural roads, little traffic, clear lines of sight. They selected a stretch of highway 3 kilometers west of Absard, straight, no nearby buildings. Fakhrizadeh used it frequently. In late October 2020, they parked the pickup on the shoulder, covered it with a tarp. It looked abandoned, nobody questioned it. The system entered hibernation mode, waiting, conserving battery. For 3 weeks, nothing. Fakhrizadeh didn't take that route. Then, on November 26, electronic intelligence confirmed Fakhrizadeh plans to travel to Absard tomorrow. The system was remotely activated, diagnostics run, everything functional. On November 27 at 1:30 p.m., the convoy appeared. And the rest is history. The hours after the assassination were chaotic. Fakhrizadeh was taken to Mustafa Khomeini Hospital in Absard. He arrived with 3 gunshot wounds to the chest, massive trauma, severe blood loss. Doctors attempted resuscitation, transfusions, emergency surgery. At 2:10 p.m., they declared him dead. The Iranian government immediately imposed a news blackout. No official reports, no confirmation. But the news leaked quickly. Social media, Telegram channels. By 4 p.m., international media were reporting the assassination. Iran responded with fury. Supreme Leader Ayatollah Khamenei issued a statement. Once again, the wicked hands of global arrogance, with the complicity of the usurping Zionist regime, were stained with the blood of a son of this nation. He promised definitive revenge. Iran's foreign minister publicly accused Israel. Terrorists murdered an eminent Iranian scientist today. This cowardice, with serious indications of Israeli role, shows the desperate warmongering of the perpetrators. But internally, the questions were more troubling. How did they know exactly where Fakhrizadeh would be? How did they attack with such precision? Where was the sniper? Iranian investigators examined the scene. They found the burned remains of the Nissan pickup, melted metal, destroyed electronic components, nothing identifiable. They recovered bullet fragments, 7.62mm NATO standard, impossible to trace. No shell casings, all collected or destroyed in the explosion. No useful witnesses. The bodyguards were confused. They thought it was an ambush from multiple positions. Iranian forensic investigators initially concluded it was a sniper assassination from nearby buildings, but there were no buildings on that stretch of highway. It took days for them to understand the truth. They examined surveillance videos from nearby traffic cameras. They saw the pickup parked there. It had been there for weeks. Nobody investigated it. When they finally connected the dots, the realization was terrifying. There were no human snipers. It was a remotely controlled weapons system, operated from outside Iran, probably Israel. Artificial intelligence helped aim, and it self-destructed to eliminate evidence. This was something Iran had never seen before. The New York Times later reported, citing American and Israeli intelligence sources, that the weapon weighed approximately 1 ton, that it was satellite-controlled, that it used AI or target identification. Iran vowed revenge, but against whom? There were no Israeli operatives to capture, no snipers to track. The ghost that killed Fakhrizadeh had already vanished. The timing of Fakhrizadeh's assassination wasn't accidental. It was strategically calculated. November 2020, critical context. Donald Trump was U.S. president but had lost the election. Joe Biden would take office in January. Trump had withdrawn the U.S. from the Iran nuclear deal in 2018. He had imposed maximum pressure with sanctions. He had killed General Qasem Soleimani in January 2020. Biden had promised to rejoin the nuclear deal, lift sanctions, re-engage with diplomacy. For Israel, this was a nightmare. The nuclear deal gave Iran access to billions in frozen funds. It allowed certain nuclear research. It had sunset clauses. Prime Minister Netanyahu had opposed the deal for years. Assassinating Fakhrizadeh in November 2020 served multiple objectives. First, eliminate the mastermind of Iran's nuclear weapons program, set the program back for years. Second, provoke Iran to retaliation. If Iran attacked Israel or U.S. interests, Trump could respond massively, make it impossible for Biden to rejoin the deal. Third, demonstrate Israeli capabilities. Show Iran there's no safe place, that Israel can reach anyone. Fourth, window timing. Last weeks of Trump's presidency, maximum U.S. support, lower risk of diplomatic consequences. The operation had to be approved at the highest Israeli level. Prime Minister Netanyahu, Defense Minister, Mossad Chief. According to reports, Netanyahu personally approved the operation in October 2020. Iran faced a dilemma. dilemma after the assassination. Responding massively risked war with Israel, and potentially the US. Trump was still in office, the American military still in the region. Not responding showed weakness, admitted they couldn't protect their most important scientists. Iran chose restraint, diplomatic protests, promises of revenge, but no immediate military action. Exactly what Israel expected. Fakhrizadeh's assassination achieved its objectives. It eliminated Iran's most important nuclear scientist. He hasn't been replaced. The weapons program was significantly delayed. It demonstrated that Israel can operate deep inside Iran using technology Iran cannot counter. It complicated Biden's efforts to rejoin the nuclear deal. Negotiations stalled. The deal remains dead in 2024. It sent a message to other Iranian scientists. Working on the nuclear program makes you a target. There's no protection, no security. Since 2020, recruiting nuclear scientists in Iran has been more difficult. Salaries have increased. The risk is too high. Fakhrizadeh's assassination represents a turning point in covert warfare. It's the first confirmed killing by an AI-assisted autonomous weapons system in an intelligence operation. It won't be the last. The implications are profound. First, zero capture risk. No human operatives in the field. No possibility of interrogation if something goes wrong. Perfect plausible deniability. Second, unprecedented precision. AI systems don't shake, don't hesitate, don't get tired. They calculate perfect fire solutions in milliseconds. Third, operations in inaccessible territory. Humans can't operate in certain places. Robots can be infiltrated, wait indefinitely, attack when ordered. Fourth, scalability. A human operation requires years of training. Support teams, exfiltration. A weapons system can be mass-produced, deployed anywhere. But there are also disturbing questions. Who's responsible when an autonomous system kills the wrong person? The programmer, the operator, the government. What happens when these systems become totally autonomous, deciding for themselves who to kill? What if this technology proliferates? Terrorist groups getting AI weapon systems, drug cartels, failed states. Fakhrizadeh's assassination opened Pandora's box. Other countries are already developing similar capabilities. The US has autonomous drones, experimental AI-assisted weapon systems, loitering munitions that select their own targets. China has publicly shown AI-controlled drone swarms, systems that can coordinate attacks without human intervention. Russia is developing combat robots, unmanned tanks, autonomous artillery systems. Israel leads in AI-assisted precision assassination systems. Fakhrizadeh's assassination was just the beginning. In July 2022, Israel used a quadcopter drone to kill an Iranian weapons engineer in Tehran. The drone, flown remotely from outside Iran, fired an attached rifle. Target eliminated. In November 2023, reports indicated Mossad had deployed multiple autonomous weapons systems in Iran, waiting for high-value targets. The future of covert warfare is robotic, autonomous, controlled by algorithms. The question isn't whether this will continue. The question is, where does it stop? What ethical limits should exist? Who sets them? How are they enforced? The United Nations has debated lethal autonomous weapons systems for years. No consensus, no international regulation. Meanwhile, the technology advances. For Iran, the lesson was brutal. Your most important scientist, your most protected person, assassinated on your own territory by a machine you didn't even see coming. Iran's nuclear program continues, slower, more cautious, more secretive. But without Fakhrizadeh, it has lost its genius, its chief architect, its irreplaceable mind. Israel achieved what diplomacy couldn't, what sanctions didn't accomplish, what cyber-sabotage only partially fulfilled. They eliminated the most dangerous mind in Iran's nuclear weapons program, with a machine controlled from 1,000 miles away by operators who were never in danger. This is the new reality of covert warfare. Silent, surgical, robotic, and terrifyingly effective. The weapon that killed Mohsen Fakhrizadeh no longer exists. It self-destructed seconds after completing its mission. But the technology that created it is being replicated, improved, deployed. Somewhere right now there's another autonomous weapons system waiting, monitoring, tracking a target. When the order comes, it will strike with perfect precision, no humans present. And the victim will never see the killer coming, because the killer is a ghost of silicon and algorithms. Welcome to the future.